So guys, he actually did it. The Mad Lad cosplay. He actually got Silver Sword #1. And this wasn't just some meme either. This was the legitimate strategy for this week. We're going to go over the best Frostwolf sword run that he had and the best Silver Sword run that he had. And we'll be able to see why the Silver Sword was just so good this week. And I'm actually doing this right at trial reset, so we double checked, make sure it was actually #1. All right, so I'm going to be doing a side-by-side comparison here between these two runs, and we are going to see why we have the Silver Sword being meta. The Silver Sword is going to be on the left, and the Frostwolf run is going to be on the right. And we can pause here, so we can see that there is a little bit of a difference in the strategy, very slightly. It is the difference between having the Silver Sword equipped and having it not equipped. One of those differences is that you have a free plus 300 HP for your Revenant here, but as a trade-off, you have less shield for your crits for Galvanized. But one of the key differences between these two runs is that we have a Pylon here instead of the Aether Drive Tonic on the Frostwolf run. When you're running Frostwolf, you have to use the Aether Drive Tonic. It's not optional. But when you're running pretty much anything else, you can use Pylon, and it can be better, it can be worse. It's going to depend on the run. But I would say using the Scarn Lantern, it's probably better to run the Pylon instead of the Aether Drive Tonic, especially when you're not going to take damage, so you keep that Scarn Lantern shield the entire time. And then one thing I do want to point out here is that we are running Adrenaline plus Endurance, so we do have damage based on stamina, but I think Cosplay may have messed up slightly here, not having less stamina. I don't believe he actually needs that extra stamina, but I think he will get rid of it right after the first combo anyway, so it probably won't be that big of a deal. We can see here the difference at the start is that he will do a combo on the Frostwolf run, but he will set down a Pylon on the Silver Sword run. But other than that, he is basically going to be doing the same exact thing between both of these runs. And you can see what he's trying to do as a general Revenant tip when you're playing Trials is he's trying to actually get the Revenant to hit not only the face, but the leg and the tail as well. He's not breaking the tail here, but he does need that extra damage on the tail. But it's especially important that he's hitting that leg because he wants that leg to break. But the Silver Sword did get a stagger slightly earlier, and that does actually make sense because the Boreas Frost Sprites are actually going to increase your stagger damage a tiny bit because they are increasing the base damage on your attacks. But you can see right here, a little bit before here, the big difference between having the extra 300 HP and not is that he was able to use the extra Revenant on this leg here, versus he had to wait for his HP to come back for him to be able to use Revenant again here. And that does create something very important, as Cosplay phrased it, the third Rev Tap is insane value on orbs, leg break faster than my grandma. As in, the leg breaks right here, right after the Enrage animation starts, whereas he needed an extra Echo to go off and an extra Avenging Overdrive parry to break it on the Frostwolf run. And then you can see our Nasher is already dead on the Silver Sword run, and then by the time it dies over here, we actually already took damage and such. But the Silver Sword being better here does make sense because, you know, you have extra damage from Revenant from those extra tendrils. Then you have the extra % damage bonus that the Revenant orbs give you, which is just going to be applied to all of your other attacks to make all of the sword focuses that you have laid down stronger. It's going to make your parry stronger as well. So yeah, the Silver Sword is meta, and the entire world is on fire. Or is it frosty? Because, you know, these are frost swords, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like he got some crazy better number of crits on the Silver Sword run versus the Frostwolf run, because he said he got the Silver Sword and he played for like 2 hours and beat the Frostwolf run 5 times. And he did do quite a few runs with the Frostwolf sword as well, so if anything, this is probably less favorable for the Silver Sword here. If he had more time to put into the Silver Sword, then he probably could have gotten an even better time than this. So yeah, guys, the Silver Sword is meta, and it's not just a meme. Go ahead and check out Cosplay here. The link is in the description. So unfortunately, after watching that, you might want to grind out your Silver Sword even more, and if you need a good build for that, there are some builds at the end of this video here that I link in the description as well. But yeah, that is going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you for watching. Drop a like for me, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I have been Trevor. I go by TheMrTrails, and I will catch you guys next time.